So getting into soloing is actually really simple. All you need to do is line up a scale with the key you're in. You're in the key of D major, line up a D major scale or a D major pentatonic scale. Key of A minor, line up an A minor scale or an A minor pentatonic. Pretty straightforward. What I want to share with you in this video is a quick navigation hack that allows you to use the exact same scale shapes for both major and minor keys, literally cutting what you need to know for soloing in half. So the theory here is insanely easy to understand, and it comes down to something called relative scales. Now there are two main categories of scales: relative scales and parallel scales. Parallel scales start on the same note, but contain at least one different note from one another. An example of parallel scales are the C major scale and the C minor scale. Both start on a C note, but as you can see, 3 of the notes are different. Relative scales, on the other hand, start on different notes, but contain all the same notes. An example of this would be the C major scale and the A minor scale. Even though they start on different notes, all 7 of the notes are the same. And every major scale's relative minor scale can simply be found by locating the 6th note and starting the scale from there. So back to the C major scale, if I just start it from note number 6, that's my relative minor scale, which is A minor. And every single major scale has a relative minor scale that starts from the 6th note. So let's do the G major scale just to prove this all works. These are our 7 notes, and we just locate note number 6, which is an E note. Now, if we played this scale in order, we would have an E minor scale, which is the relative minor scale to G major. So let's apply this to the fretboard. Now, when we're soloing, we are not just playing up and down the scale that fits the key. We're trying to play licks we've learned, experimenting with random notes within the scale, or maybe hitting chord tones if you're at that point. So that means that the note that our scale shape starts on doesn't really matter because we're not playing it in order when we're soloing. And we can take advantage of this fact by using relative scales to play over both major and minor keys, meaning we can use just one movable shape to cover all of our bases. So let's slap on the old position 1 of the minor pentatonic we all know and love. In this position, we're in the key of A minor. All the notes in this shape come from the A minor scale, so we can use this shape to play over any song in the key of A minor. But what is the relative major key of A minor? It's C major, meaning we can use this exact same shape for any song in the key of C major as well. All the notes work. And for positioning this, there's a really simple trick. If we go to either our high or low E string, wherever our pointer finger sits, that's our relative minor. And wherever our pinky finger sits, that is our relative major. So you can see pointer finger on A, pinky finger on C. And I can shift this anywhere on the fretboard and will always give me my relative major and minor scales instantly. So let's slide this up to G major. Pinky finger here on the G note, and pointer finger here on the E note. And just to show you, it's the same on the high E as well, G and E. This shape will work for both keys. One last example. A major, all the way down here. We've got F sharp minor here on our pointer finger, and A major on our pinky. And if we want to double check, we can look at the notes in an A major scale. Find the 6th note, and that is an F sharp minor. So now you don't need one shape for major keys and one shape for minor keys. You just simply line up the major or minor with whatever key you're in, and this shape will always work. If you're finding this way of learning the fretboard interesting, this is actually a small piece of what I teach in my brand new full-on soloing course called Soloing Made Simple. So if you want to keep the ball rolling, you can go check that out by following the link in the description. It's perfect for both upper beginners and intermediates. So this is not just about the pentatonic either. Since the pentatonic scale is just a major or minor scale with 2 notes removed, I can put those notes back into their rightful spots and we have one shape containing everything. I like to call this the home bass because it's one shape, any key, every single note, and I can just move it around to solo or write licks in whichever key I want. The next step here is to expand this home bass outward into the other positions. Because we're only scratching the surface here, all these concepts carry over into every connected position across the whole fretboard as well. So if that's something you want to learn, I've got two solid paths for you. The first is to go the more thorough step-by-step route with my 3-hour soloing course, and the second is to check out this YouTube video called The 3 Connected Guitar Scales I Use Daily. Links to both will be up on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.